Hey everybody, welcome to the Go-Getters and Fit Warriors team call. It is February 22nd. How is it February? And it's like 40 degrees outside. I was just outside sitting by a fire at this conference that I'm at, but it's pretty fun. So welcome. Clara's dying laughing, and I'm distracted by it because I want to know what she's laughing at. I hope it's not me.
I think the voices.
But I am at a conference. Oh, my voice is weird?
Now it's fine.
Oh, that's what she's laughing at? Sorry, I'm reading.
It was funny.
Is it better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's start over. I'm Amanda, for those that don't know me. I'm the founder of the Fit Warriors team, and Lindsay is the founder of the Go-Getters. We run a team call twice a month, and we have lately not had to speak at all because we've had all of you awesome leaders jumping up and taking the lead and wanting to run these calls. So we're super excited that we have Megan Hansens to guest speak tonight to share a little bit about her journey. She's been a coach just a little over a year now. She signed literally on New Year's Eve, correct, Megan?
I was in the December new coach group, but it was late December.
December of 2014.
Yeah.
So and she's been kicking butt, taking names, starting to build an awesome team. So excited to see 3 of her team members on the call today. Hi, Carissa and Mel and Vicky. Love you guys. Megan and I went to college together, and it's just crazy how life brings you back together. And Megan doesn't know this, but I've been reflecting a lot about my faith and my relationship with the Lord, and I've really only been building that in the last year. And it's crazy that Megan came into my life again about that time because she has such a strong faith, and I think that you're definitely. For Sheila knows I'm writing a witness right now to give at a retreat next week, and it's all about discipleship. And you're really a disciple in my life, and it's been wonderful to kind of grow in my faith with you because I see such a strong faith in you. So that's pretty awesome, and I love that. So thank you for that. And with that, I'm trying to think of any announcements. So we're at the end of February, and coming up in March, we have first week. I have a challenge group that always starts the first week of March. We have a clean eating group that will now be every second Monday of the month. There will be a clean eating group, and we have that rotating through the team. So that's super awesome. So everyone on the team, goal getters down, can add any participants to that group. So I'm not sure actually who's running March. Do you, Lindsay? I'm not sure.
No, but I definitely know that we need some gaps filled in. I think maybe only 2 people are set for March. So definitely go in the files and set up. And somehow we need to come up with a system of maybe someone can post for clean eating. Like someone needs to kind of be the captain so that everyone knows what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. So we can talk more about that. We also have, I know that Jenny and Nisa have been working on a script for March because Sheila came up with an awesome idea at the beginning of the year, or for February, is to kind of switch up our scripts a little bit because we were all using the same scripts. And if you're having repeat people in your 21-day fix group or whatever group you were having each month, it was kind of getting redundant. So just to get more scripts in the mix, Sheila came up with that awesome system. So we have people every month who have stepped up to add to that. So I know that Jenny and Nisa have been working on that, so I'm real excited to see that. The February one has been great. So thank you so much to Sheila and Kelly for working on the script for February. It's been really nice to kind of have some new stuff in the mix. So also second week of March, we will start a new coaching group. I will be running the new coach group. So if you have any new coaches that have signed up within the last month or really any time, and are just ready to jump in or ready to do it again because they really haven't done anything, that group will be opening on the second Monday, which will be, it's kind of weird because February goes till February 29th. And so the first Monday will be March 7th. The second Monday will be March 14th. So just make sure you pay attention to those dates because I keep getting confused myself because of the leap year thing. And then the third Monday, we will have a 5-day sneak peek, and Nicole England just stepped up to take that one over for March. So thank you for that. And then I don't think we have anything that's really starts on the fourth Monday, which is good. Sometimes we need a little break. So we have a lot going on. This team has been growing like crazy. It's been busy. It's been fun. I've been loving all the energy and all the newbies, just really excited and taking a lead. So with all of that, again, like I was saying, Megan has been a coach for a little over a year. She is like this close to diamond. Hint, hint, L.
No pressure, team. No pressure. We're going to be fine. We're going to make this happen for you, girl. And make it happen.
Just wait for that 22-minute hardcore. It's all good.
God, I know. Tropic Falls. I know.
I understand, though. I understand that.
He has to get it for his money. Get most he can for his money here.
I understand. No worries.
I might have a few other peeps in the mix. We'll make it happen. It's just give me 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Two weeks.
No pressure, babe. All right.
Megan's going to tell you a little bit about her journey over the last year, and take it away, Meg.
All right. Is this call, does it end in 45 minutes or is it
Try and keep it within the hour, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Megan Hansens. Thank you for that introduction, Amanda. I appreciate that more than you know, honestly. I have, like you said, I've been a coach a little bit more than a year, and I joined Amanda's 21-day fix group back in September of 2014 because I had just finished a couple of marathons and was eating healthy foods, but of course eating wild proportions of them. So I reached out to her and fell in love with accountability groups, as many of you can relate, and that's where it all went down. I became a coach when Amanda invited me, but I feel kind of like I got a couple of different invites, one from Amanda, but also one from my Lord, okay? If you guys follow me, if you know me at all, you're going to know that I've got faith that is constantly growing. But in the past couple of years, I've gotten a lot more into the Word and a lot more into kind of really trying to follow the path that God's laid out for me. And when Amanda invited me, I, of course, had the same hesitations many of us had. I don't have the time. I don't think I can do it. I'm not that vulnerable. I'm not sure. I had the same reservations in terms of, is this part of my Christian walk? Is this something that is going to be pleasing to the Lord? It's an important thing to me. And without really knowing this, I was in a Bible study group, and two of the girls that I was talking with, one is a makeup artist and another one is a photographer, and they were talking about, they didn't know what my dilemma was as far as becoming a Beachbody coach, but they were talking about how they are in industries that are a little more, I don't know if vain is the word, but they kind of were like, how Christian really is this to be focusing so much on beauty and whatnot? But they did say that something that I know God was speaking directly to me from their mouths. They said there needs to be Christians in every industry, and that was a bit of a slap in the face and a little bit of a, okay, I've got work to do here, and he's leading me in that. So he also reminded me of a passion that I had for healthy living. Before I was a stay-at-home mom of my 3 kids, I was a health educator at my local high school where I graduated from, and I got into health education because I wanted to help end the trend of obesity. Does that sound familiar? So he was reminding me of that, and he was providing a way, because over the past 7 years, my oldest child is 7, and I struggle with how to say this because it sounds awful, especially to those of you who are working so hard to come home to your kids. But I have been a struggling stay-at-home mom. It has been, I mean, there have been times where, many times where I have felt my children would probably be better off being raised by someone else than me being at home. And I know that is not true, but the struggle has been what it's been. You know, it's just the truth. I feel like God has placed Beachbody coaching into my life, so I have something that I can use my talents that he's given me for, but that also makes me a better stay-at-home mom with my kids, because I know that is his plan for me, being home with the kids. So it's just come together. So that's a little bit of my backstory, and he's providing the way. So as I was considering talking about what I was wanting to talk about, I was talking to Courtney Anderson. I'm like, what are you going to talk about? Because I don't want to follow along with or steal anything what you're going to be talking about. And I was like, really, the only thing I can do is my workouts every day. I don't know if I have anything else to add. That's a strength as far as getting workouts in every day, but I don't know what other enlightening things I've got to say. But he really just was guiding me to just talk to you guys about my journey over the past year. So I'm going to share what it's been like month by month and what the main nuggets that I've learned from each month have been. So I did my new coach training in December of last year, and jumped into leading my first challenge group in January. And to be honest with you, it was fairly easy to begin with. I posted a before and after picture from the 21-day fix. Friends jumped on board, and I was like, hey, I got a group, here we go. And February was kind of shaping up to be the same thing. I didn't have to do a whole lot of inviting. However, I want to say it was either late December or January. I was listening to a team call, the Dream Extreme team call at that time. Must have been early January, I think. Christina Sullins was interviewing Lindy Galt, and she was talking, Lindy was just talking about her kind of theme. That call was that this business is not easy, but it is simple when you set yourself up for success each month. And she was talking about making sure you run a group every month, making sure you're doing the vital behaviors, and making sure that you set up systems along the way. And so while January and pretty much February were really falling into place for me fairly easily as far as getting people on board with me, I had in the back of my head what Lindy had said, in that it's not an easy business, but it is a simple business. So that was what I took away in January. It's not easy, but it is pretty simple. February came around again. Success Club was hit in January and February, but I was getting nervous because my posts were not bringing in the people like it had been, and I realized that February was going to be about needing to work the business, and that meant inviting. And so I did have to do some inviting I decided in March I was going to do my first free clean eating group. The other ones had been just 21-day fix groups. And so I had to invite that free clean eating group. And, you know, we think of clean eating groups being like, oh, people flock to you. Well, I had to do some inviting, and it made me sick to my stomach. Like, it was terrifying. And I probably only invited like 5 people to it. People did, you know, volunteer and want to join into it, but I felt like I had a number in mind I wanted to reach. So I was inviting to get those people, and talk about like nerve-wracking. It was awful. I I hope some of you can relate. So because that the clean eating group went very well. I think Carissa, you were part of that clean eating group, and there's been a lot of good that came from that group that just over the past year has trickled out from that group, to be honest. But in March, I made the stupid decision that I was not going to run a group in April. I was needing a break after 3 months in the business. I was needing a break. And I was petrified of doing the inviting. And so if Fit Warriors, if you remember, Amanda offered to run a group for us in April. And if she wouldn't have run that group, I found it easier to invite to her group. I don't know why, but it was something that was easier in my mind to process. So if Amanda, you wouldn't have had that group, I probably wouldn't have hit that 3rd month in a row of Success Club and not gone to Summit because of the not getting Success Starter. So I think I've mentioned it before, but thanks again. In April, I took that month while Amanda was running that group and I was chiming in here and there. I really did take that month to sit back and get some personal development and get my crap organized and be like, okay, am I going to do this or am I not? April turned out to be a month where I learned that I needed to trust the people that came before me. But I couldn't blame anybody but myself if this was going to be a success or a failure. So it just had to be a time where I had to decide what I was going to do. And I listened to another Dream Extreme call. I don't think it was when it actually was, but I listened to it when it was posted and in one of our groups, and it was the one, I can't remember, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right or not, but Yelisa, she is a diamond coach with Christina Sellens, and Christina was interviewing her, and I'm not really sure what she said that just got me going, but she laid down a call to action. She said, if this is your time to go, you contact your upline coaches and say, what am I going to do? What should I do to run with this business? And that was my aha. That was my, okay, I need to go do this. So I had to trust who had gone before me, Lindsay and Amanda. And so I reached out to them and they said, well, where's your Mac Daddy list? And where's your business activity tracker? And I was like, like I didn't have either of them. Okay. So I had to trust what they said. And so April was about trust. Moving into May, that was when I had to become a student again. Lindsay was offering a Dash to Diamond group in May, and it was terrible timing in my eyes as far as what life was throwing at me otherwise. But I knew that Dash to Diamond group was, I believed in accountability groups, and that group was going to be an accountability group and a group to help us grow. I didn't know if I was going to get to Diamond in that time frame, but I just knew that was something that needed to be done. And so that was where I had to learn how to be a student again and really learn again from those who had done this stuff before. That was where I learned that you have to add people to your network every single day. You have to invite every single day, and you need to get over this business of being afraid to invite. This is silliness. And I'm saying that now, guys, but like, literally sweating bullets all the time over inviting. So I say it flippantly now because I've come to terms with inviting. If you're still worried about that, this will come. It will come. But when these groups come up, these new coach groups, when these push to Emerald groups come up, when these push to Diamond groups can become available, you have to take advantage of them and become a student. Okay. I didn't reach my goal. Okay. I didn't reach my goal in that Dash to Diamond group, and I didn't meet it in the second Dash to Diamond group, but I learned something new from each one of those. So, as I told you earlier, May was a crappy month as far as timing went. Like, I was freaked out because I was going to be coordinating our vacation Bible school that year for the very first time. And I just didn't know what the time commitment was going to be. And the Dash to Diamond group was adding just a little bit to my daily schedule every day. But it was just a time where I had to schedule things and get it taken care of. And that led into June. And the biggest thing that I learned from June was that it's time to just schedule this. Okay. You have to schedule it into your day and make it happen. And again, guys, I know a lot of this is repeat. I know you've heard this a lot, but they say it because it makes sense. We have to schedule things out. So June, before Beachbody, was a crazy hectic month anyway. But June with Beachbody just I had to either prioritize or I had to let the business go. And so I wasn't going to do that. June is a time when we go on vacation. We go to the lake for a week. June is a time where we have an entire week of Bible school and the prep that goes into it. When we get back from vacation, that is a time when my son's birthday comes around. And so June is just nuts. But that came to a time where I had to prioritize that power hour and really work my business. And so I had been doing that all along, but I was not, it wasn't I'm doing it now, I'm doing it this time. I had to look ahead to a week and figure out when that was going to happen. And I believe June was also the time, maybe it was May, but I don't know, maybe May or June, but June was also a wonderful time because that was when I got my success partner, Nicole England. And that was the time where I learned that how important accountability partners are in this, especially ones that are kind of walking in the same path that you're going. She and I were in that Push to Diamond group in May, and boy, that's been the best pairing, I swear, girl. It's awesome. We started off talking, I think like 3 days a week or something like that, kind of a check-in, and it was kind of, and we just grew to talking more often and more frequently, checking in more often, bouncing ideas off of each other. I think Nicole is definitely the motivator out of the two of us, and I feel like she often drags me along from time to time. But it's been great to do Fall Classic with her and Carissa, and it's just been a relationship that's great. So if you do not have a success partner, please find somebody. It's a game changer. I can't guarantee she's going to be as great as Nicole, but do what you got to do. Okay, July came around, and the big one that came away from July for me was live events. Okay, now to be honest, live events started for me way back in January. I had done my very first preseason with my very first group. We hadn't even started the group yet, and Amanda said there's going to be a live event, Super Saturday near you. Go to it. And I was like, okay, I will. And that was, Lindy Galt was also speaking at that one. So Lindy got on my radar really quick. If you are not aware of who she is, I want to say 4 or 5-star diamond coach, one of Christina's coaches, and she's in my area. So anyway, July was a really big one for live events though too, because I did earn a ticket to Summit, being a success starter, and that was where I got to meet, I saw Amanda for the first time in 10 years, met Lindsay for the first time, Sheila and Bree and Rob and Carly, and I'm gonna be missing somebody. Did I get everybody? I think I got everybody. Yeah. But anyway, the live events, guys, get to them. Super Saturdays, Coach Camp this past, just a couple of weeks ago. Amazing. And it's just different when you get to see people who are working towards common goals with you. So if you are afraid to go to one by yourself, or you don't want to drive to one to get there, feel like you're missing out, okay? So do your best to get to those because they are game changers. That being said, July started a really big downfall for me, and started a couple of months that were a big struggle because I came home from Summit. I think I had major issues with processing that event, because I came home and just kind of shut down instead of just taking nuggets where I could and applying them to where I could. And I also found out in my business that I was neglecting a big part of my business, and it was affecting my rank. I started having discount coaches starting to drop, and they were all on one leg. So you can imagine what that meant. I think it was 2 weeks after I got home from Summit, where I had proudly been showing my emerald rank. I lost it, okay? And that was a blow. That was a blow, and it was something that I took to heart, because while there are things in this business that are uncontrollable, I felt like I could have done more to help my discount coaches appreciate the value of Shakeology and stick with it. So do I regret that happened, losing rank? Right now, not really. I was able to get it back within a couple of weeks. However, it was kind of, a stumbling block, and I felt really defeated when that happened. And while I could have chosen to be sad about it and worry about it for a long time, it was a time where I had to choose to fight for my business and fight back for it. So that was a time, July and leading into August, where things were a little rough, but I just had to make a choice about how I was going to handle that disappointment. In August, the struggles that I had in July about not forming and not inviting and not doing my vital behaviors caught up to me in August. And August was my month of biggest struggle as far as reaching Success Club and finding people to help, because I didn't do my behaviors the previous month. And that really, really set me back. I really had to get my mindset back and pray as far as trying to keep my business running efficiently. And I blame myself for not doing vital behaviors, and that's what really caused that stumbling block. In August, it was about finding a new strategy on how to make sure I was doing those vital behaviors, and I had to get back to that business activity tracker. September brought about the need to switch things up. And I'm sure some of you who have been in the business for a while, you have found that you have had to switch things up when things were not working. And I have to say that my switch up was due to a change in our family business. For those of you that don't know, my husband farms with his dad. And so I was recruited for the first time to head on out to the fields and help. And that brought me to a place where many of you are working full-time businesses or full-time jobs out besides your Beachbody business. And it gave me a whole different perspective and empathy on how you guys are doing it, because normally I am stay-at-home mom and have a different schedule than what you guys are able to do. I was finding myself needing to not work 15 minutes here and 15 minutes there. I was finding myself having to work 3 minutes here while I was waiting at the end of the field, and then I had to put that tractor in gear and go catch grain on the go coming from the combine. And so it was a game changer, but it made me get organized in a different way for what I was needing to do for my Beachbody business to keep it going, because I was determined to not have what happened in July and August to continue for September, October, and beyond. So in September, the main thing I had to focus on was trying something new and making it work at that time. You have to be flexible, and while I didn't really want to be flexible, it was done, and it worked. October, the main thing about October that I learned through my business was having to be willing to let go of the uncontrollable. And what happened here was that I had a working coach who I devoted a lot of time to during a very busy time of year, during September. I devoted a lot of time to her to get her comfortable to a point where she could work the business. And all of a sudden, up in one day, she decided to deactivate, and she did it without talking to me, and she was done. And I knew that coaching could be the answer to her for health concerns, and it could be a answer for her financially as well, but I had absolutely no control over it. I had invested a lot of time into her, but I did not have any control over her being able to work the business and continue it on for herself. And so in October, that was what I needed to grasp, that some aspects of this business are uncontrollable, and we need to focus on what we can control. Okay, that's hard for me, who's a type A control freak. Okay, but was it a growing experience? Absolutely. I think at that time, Amanda, I think, said, you've got to coach your new coaches the way you would if you had 5 coaches, or the way you would if you had 50 coaches under you. And that was an eye-opener that I needed to learn and figure out a system of how to work with growing my business. So October was about letting go of the things that I couldn't control and grasping the things that I could control. Which led very well into November, because in November, that was when I was adding coaches to my business and going, whoa, things are picking up, and which is a good thing. That's what we want in this business, right? We want to have a team under us that we can help grow and help them become coaches in this business. But in that time frame, that was a season changer. I think Lindsay had done a team call, I want to say back in the spring, about managing your seasons in your business. And one season was about, like, working your customers and your groups and growing just your customer base. And then you have to move on to growing your team, taking some time, a season to grow your team. And then you have to function, and you have to move into a time where you have to focus on yourself. And that's a season where you have to really do some growing for you. And so in November, that was what I was having to do. I was having to shift from my business into like my business with my customers, but growing into a time where I needed to grow my team and help my new coaches along. And so that was a little bit scary, in that I was worried that I was going to be I was not being attentive to my business with my customers. Was that going to suffer because I was taking time for my team? And that's absolutely not. But it was just a mind shift. It was something that I had to learn new in my business. So, and what a good thing it's been. Amazing thing. December, December was a time where we had gone on a trip to Disney World in the first week of December, and it was a wonderful trip. It was a time for making memories, and it was a time to enjoy. And when we came back from that trip, I came back to a funk. It was awful. It was I just decompressing from Disney in itself is something, but coming back to trying to get Christmas together when you thought you had it a little more organized, when maybe it really wasn't as much as you think, and trying to pick the business back up again, and trying to make sure that the Christmas season is as magical for the kids as it can possibly be, and trying to make sure that we had all our I's dotted and T's crossed, and the most important part about Christmas is focusing on the birth of our Savior. And I had nothing. Like it was terrible. It was terrible. And I was in a funk. And I remember talking to Lindsay about it, and she was like, are you doing the absolute best that you can do? And I was like, with what I've got? Yes. Am I reaching out to people? Yes. Am I inviting people? Yes, I'm doing what I can. But after she said that, and after that helped me get out of the funk just a little bit. But after that, after dwelling on that for a few days, I was like, you know what? Am I doing my best, or can I push just a little bit more? And that helped me get out of that funk just a little bit more. And it was right before Christmas where it was just time. It was things were moving again. And that December was kind of about doing what you got to do, but can you do just a little bit more? And we hear that in our DVDs, our workout DVDs all the time, and push yourself. But we have to do that in our business too. We have to do that in our everyday lives too. I mean, are you focusing on your kids, or are you looking at your phone all the time? And I'm so guilty of it, guys. Could I play an extra game of Connect 4 with my son when he's asking me to, instead of just trying to get that one last message sent off? Okay. So December was all about growing in doing the best you can do and just pushing just a tiny bit more. Okay. And finally, January, last month. Last month was about being teachable again. You might have heard some of us talk about being involved in PSMU, and that was a practical social media university. Gosh, I think I'm getting that right. But we're focusing on building our blogs and social media boot camp and learning about that. And I was resenting it quite a bit because it was taking time, and I felt like, have I not learned enough over the last year? I just don't have it anymore. Like, I don't have enough room to learn any more. But then I swallowed my objections, and I said, well, Megan, are you going to be teachable? You've learned over the past year that pushing out of your comfort zone is going to give you good things. Okay. Are you going to just stay in the comfort zone that you're at, where you weren't a year ago, but push it a little bit more and be teachable and learn this stuff to better yourself? And while I'm still trying to work through that stuff, embracing that idea of being more teachable is only going to benefit us along the way. So January was about, again, learning more and being teachable and open to what we need to do, because we are always growing in this business, are we not? So I'm still trying to figure out what February's been about. And some of you might have ideas for where that has been in regards to me. But I hope this year of reflection has not put any of you to sleep, to be honest. I hope that a few of the things that were highlighted for me as I've been reflecting over the past year, I hope some of those things you can be like, I could learn a little bit from that, or I could push myself a little bit more here, or I could jump into that new coach group, or that emerald group, or that diamond group, and see where that leads me. So that is my hope for you guys. I just want to end with this. I don't know that I have listened to any of the top coaches and not heard them say at some point or another how big consistency is in this business. And I just want to encourage you that consistency is something that is hard to do, but once you get into it, that is something that will just keep your momentum going. And the mindset of focusing not on Success Club points necessarily, but why are we in this, but to help people, that makes this business so much easier for me. When I am not stressed about Success Club points, and I stress the fact that I need to help people with what I have got to offer people, that changes this business for me. So if any of you are struggling with that, I encourage you to kind of shift that mindset to, who can I help? Who can I help, and how can I consistently keep finding people to help? And what can I do to continue reaching out for more people to help? And with that being said, I'll turn it back over to Amanda, unless anybody has any questions.
Yeah, we can open it up for questions, but oh my gosh, Megan, that was so fun to watch back and listen to, because it's funny, obviously I've been there through the whole process, and I've watched Megan grow and just become a leader. And I think February for you is a month of leadership. You recently started your team page. I don't think that was February. I think that was January. I don't know when, but
I can't remember either.
I think you're doing this call right now. I think February is definitely a month of leadership for you. So we will see what the future months hold. But that was super fun. And one thing that Megan has been great is that she's been an awesome student. And she talked about that a lot. And I think that's something, as the teacher in me, that I think, and Lindsay chimed in on the message here too, like, I think we need to push that more with people. And because we just had a conversation today about the new coach groups and how some people don't participate, or the push to Emerald and people don't participate. And for us as the leaders of that group, to be honest, guys, it gets frustrating and it's hard. It's hard for us to sit back and not want to like push you, because we want so much for all of you. And we know that you're capable of it, but you have to have that mindset that you want to do it. We can't make you do it. We can control the controllable. That's Lindsay's. I said that the other day to Carly about something else, about like guys and relationships. And I said, I can only control the controllable. And she's like, that came out of the mouth of Lindsay. And I was like, yep. But seriously, we can't control all of you, but we want to so bad. So when people do not participate in groups, it's tough. But maybe if we took it and presented it as, you're taking a class. Remember when you were in school, you have to be a student. You have to commit to doing the homework. Am I losing you? Oh no. Can you hear me? I just got a blank screen, so you might not be able to hear me, but I'm going to continue talking because I think it's still recording. But I might have lost you. Shoot.